anime begins with Arata surrounded by darkness trying to hold a hand that was reaching out for him, but his cousin Hijiri woke him up and Arata accidentally groped her in that half-asleep state. Hijiri and Arata grew up together and are also best friends. Both are in high school and have few bumps in life every now and then. But one thing didn't sit right while he was on his way to school was that the sun was weird. A girl with suspicious vibe tells him to wake up as she passes by. This was constantly bothering him, a mysterious girl and the sun being dark, so he asked Hijiri about it and she tells him that the sun has always been that way, a pitch black color. But from here on out things become different as Hijiri was acting sort of different, but it gives him a flashback of Hijiri vanishingly away. Arata now has doubts about Hijiri in front of him. She claims to be Hijiri, so Arata showed her the drawing real Hijiri had drew on her childhood and the sun in it was red. The truth was revealed. Then a magic blast just tried to harm Hijiri and Arata recognizes that beauty from earlier with her axe. Her name is Lilith, and she is a mage. She came to investigate this city that recently had a strong stir of magic and found everything was normal, but then Hijiri showed her the reality of her surroundings, a world of apocalypse. And Arata began remembering the past as the people vanished by that dark sun. The only reason Arata was safe was because Hijiri gave him a grimoire as she also parted her way in that breakdown. And there Arata enters that dark world. And the grimoire had the power to grant Arata a single wish, so he wished for everything to return to normal, so the grimoire created its own world. Arata wanted to know what happened to the real Hijiri after she vanished, so the grimoire tells him that the real Hijiri is alive but her location is unknown. But creating a world was beyond the capabilities of a normal grimoire, so Lilith gave Arata two options if he wanted to live. Destroy this artificial world or Lilith would have no choice but to kill him, because if things continue as they are, who knows when this breakdown will begin spreading around the world. But Arata has his own options. Lilith mentioned earlier about some sort of mage school, so he chose to enroll there to be a mage instead. Considering his power that made an entire artificial world, Arata managed to enroll in the academy. Even though Lilith is at the same age as him, she is actually a teacher in the academy. And when Arata was introducing himself, Surina told him about the rumors that were going around about him creating a world, and that only a demon lord candidate could pull something like that off. Arata didn't deny it, and Surina was spreading the news of a demon lord candidate to the entire school. But the headmaster welcomes him. Demon lord or not, Arata has decided to find Hijiri. But first he must surpass the 7 most powerful students known as Trinity 7. To cut a long story short, if he makes 7 of them his own and forms a harem, it will be much more efficient for him to become stronger, and Lilith is one of them. And on the way out comes another member of 7, Levi the ninja, who, unlike Lilith, enjoys having a sexy talk with Arata. And then come another 2 of 7, Akio and Mira. Akio is said to be the best in combat and Mira is said to be the best in magic, surpassing even Lilith. And having to get the harem of 7 smokin' hot girls in harem, Arata was all down for it, but Lilith slapped him for cracking a joke like that. And Ice Queen been all shy, it was indicating that she liked Arata. Well, Arata was adjusting to his new life and at night he wanted to enjoy the bath all to himself, but there was a girl in the men's side. Arata expected her to scream out loud, but she was cool having Arata there. He ran away because that was an unexpected reaction of a typical girl and Lilith happens to be there as well, so she get in there to bring her out of men's bath. Her name is Erin and she claims to be Demon Lord's future wife, so she follows him everywhere, but for now she left, and Arata had some visitors in his rooms. Surina wanted to interview Arata to get some insight into his taste, so Arata began teasing Lilith once more before asking about his grimoire. It's the Astral Codex, a legendary book that contains the world's knowledge, but there's nothing more info that is recorded, and to know their grimoire one needs to know their Tama. But a shroud of darkness surrounded the room and the way out has been locked. Arata's grimoire woke up from her dream to let them know that there's a magic circle in the room. Destroy it and they'll be free to leave, but it was easier said than done because the main issue was that there wasn't a toilet in the room, and Lilith was the first one to get the nature's call. And following her Levi was on the same boat, so she dragged Surina into it as well with her magic. It was a feast for Arata to see 3 of them like that. Situation was getting desperate and Arata, Levi, and Surina tried to trick the grimoire into telling them where the circle was. Lilith here thought that all-knowing grimoire could never fall for such patty trick. But surprisingly she fall for it and tell them to look under the bed, knowing that they finally got out of there, and Arata had the idea that it was Aaron behind all of this. Because the headmaster told her about Arata being as a demon lord candidate, and that's where headmaster entered there like a fool, so Arata gets to the infirmary to continue their talk. She did it because that idiot of a headmaster told her to put Arata through difficult times to confirm his demon lord identity, and if he is the real deal, then Arata will cause another breakdown. So Aaron just showed it as she touched Arata's hand. She used her Tama of destruction to force Arata to lose control over his magic, to causing yet another breakdown. Mira and Akio saw this and wanted to destroy the cause of the breakdown, and for a brief moment, everyone thought that Akio had killed Arata, but the breakdown didn't stop at all. Because he was pulled into a different dimension by another Trinity 7, her name is Yui, and she showed how the students were being vanished by the breakdown. And the only way to stop it was to take control over it, but to do that Arata had to find out his Tama from one of the 7 deadly sins of archives, that are known as Supervia, Inferia, Ira, Arcadia, Avaradia, Gula, and Luxuria. Hearing this, he got the idea of the Tama of Supervia, Myra's Tama, and with this hint, Arata returns to the real world and finally finds his own original Tama, which is to control everything. The Tamima of Supervia, with which he disband all the magic around, and since the mage mode contains magic, all the girls around lost their clothes. But Mira was fine because she reflected Arata's perverted spell to him. Well, that breakdown did a number on the school, so the headmaster sent all the students away on a tropical island for a little vacation. There Serena and Levi heard Arata and Lilith's voices, and judging by the sweet way they were talking, both thought they were about to have some alone time action. And as much as Arata wanted that it wasn't the situation in there, he just wanted to know about his own powers. Then on randomly Arata gives the idea to hop into the bath together, which everyone likes the idea. First their Shrina gives him the idea to aim his powers at one person to just blow away only that individual's clothes, and the way to do that was to ask Lilith to teach him about her gun magic, but a magic is like a private thing for everyone, so she was acting all shy. But Arata somehow pursued her to teach him about her gun magic. She instructs the way he could make a gun by copying Lilith's magic. And just on the first attempt Arata hit the bullseye as he made a gun with Astral Codex. Well, that was the end of it, and the school was repaired, and studies resumed, but everyone in the school had fallen into deep dreams, and at this caliber, that means it's a breakdown phenomenal. And the one with the weak magic was affected by it, so this type of breakdown can only be caused by one person, Yui. So Akio and Mira were about to execute Yui to stop this and goes down to the dungeon where she is sealed off. Arata had a hard time believing that this was caused by a student, and why was she even sealed off in the first place, so Levi tells him that Yui is the second strongest mage in the academy. Second only to the headmaster, and her magic is a type of cardinal magic, and if it gets out of control, she can put everyone in the world to sleep, but their path was blocked by the fallen ones. Also known as demons, Arata wanted to show off his awesome gun trick, but he forgot how he had copied Lilith's magic to make a real gun, but Levi steps in to make a way out of there. Then as they descended to the lowest floor, Akio and Mira caught up to them. They work in the Grimoire Security Bureau, so they won't tolerate this type of threat and destroys the reason of breakdown. So to save Yui, Levi engaged with Akio on combat while the other made their way to the chamber where Yui was. But inside she was guarded by a black dragon, and seeing it Arata lost to control over his powers. Sensing this rift in magic, Akio, Levi and Mira comes in, while Arata was getting out of hand. Levi helped him regain control of his magic. He was attempting to materialize the gun magic but was unsuccessful, so Levi bit his finger to transfer her magic into Arata, with which he made that gun to eradicate the dragon and save Yui. And with it got a new harem member. But for the time being, let's call it a day. But don't forget to subscribe to get the latest updates on the new part of the anime recap. Until then, take care.